All right, take like 15. I've been struggling to get this done, but I think I got it this time. I wanted to share that last week I was able to go to an event called Built How down in Palm Springs. It's put on by Ben Kinney, Chris Suarez, Place, and it's a real estate conference, but it's so much more than that. I've had people ask me, what does Built How mean? And for me, the way I interpret it is, it's how I built this. So a lot of times the the people who are on stage, not real estate people. This event, keynote speakers, Ben and Jerry's Ice Cream, Will Guidara, for example, author of Unreasonable Hospitality, and others. So it's not all about real estate. I'll say it is I think now the largest non-brand associated real estate conference, because it's not associated with a particular branch or brand of real estate. So there are people on stage that are in real estate from every brand essentially. I think there was a RE/MAX person, Real Brokerages, EXP, obviously Keller Williams, because that's where we are, and that's the brand which both Ben and Chris own in their respective states. So I wanted to share some thoughts about my time at Built How and some of my takeaways. I have a lot of notes, so I'm going to break this into a few videos, not just one very long one. And tell you that there's another one coming up in September, and really hope that I get the chance to see you there, because hopefully you'll see that there's a lot of takeaways I'll be able to use both in my real estate business and in my life. Ben pretty much opened up the conference by talking about, we just got to do something about it. For those of us who've been in real estate for more than a couple of years, more than two, have seen a pretty big shift in business and how you get it, and the customer experience, both on the listing side and on the buyer side. And as the Fed continued to move rates up, it's definitely affected the real estate market. And I mean, kind of done what they wanted to do, which was temper pricing. But obviously what may have been easy times a couple of years ago, maybe not as simple as they once were. So we went from a market where you just kind of had to show up to where you really have to have some skills now. Complains about not enough leads, do something about it. Not enough sales, do something about it. Not enough contacts, or leads, do something about it. If we're going to have a reduction in business, that means we're going to have a similar offsetting effort leading into it. We're going to have to do those leading indicator things. We're going to have to do those activities, which then lead to business. And that may not just be a real estate thing, that's just a life thing. If you weigh too much, do something about it, which is less of this. Anyway, Ben talked about simplifying the process for our clients, whether it be real estate or otherwise. He used the iPhone as an example. The iPhone just made everything simple. I don't need to know how to code. I don't need to know how to manipulate an application. I just do it. It's super simple. And if we can provide that for our clients, for those things in our life, we win, right? I'm going to tell a Ben story that I may have the details wrong, but it's one of my favorite to tell. So, artistic license. Before Ben got licensed and was in real estate, he was in cable sales. And he was doing it the way that they had always done it. And as I understand it, Ben, correct me if I'm wrong, if you see this, he had an apartment complex that was in his area territory, and he had gone in and was knocking on doors or whatnot, and then met with the property manager and got a copy of their utility sheet. You know, like, you moved in, so now activate your telephone, activate your cable, your water, whatever those utilities are. And so he took that, and it was just like a floppy piece of paper that they would hand out to their new tenants. And he went and made a really fancy one, laminated a bunch of them, made a bunch of them with that are laminated. And so, you know, Puget Sound Energy's phone number was there, the water department phone number was there, and the Comcast number was his cell phone number. So while others were out hustling new clients, his phone was ringing. So he took a hard job and found a way to simplify it and make it so people called him versus him having to go and hustle them to hopefully sign up for their new cable service. One of my favorite quotes, and I may have get it, you know, not 100% correct, but I love it, is, "This shit is hard." And that's our competitive advantage. So for those of us who put in the work and show up with the right mindset, the right attitude, and are willing to put in the work, are going to have the competitive advantage. In my next video, I'll go through my day one notes and the things that touched me and that I had for takeaways. I will say I'm going to double check myself here, but I think the end of day one, Will Guidara, the author of Unreasonable Hospitality, and I will say there were tears. All right, look forward to our next video.